Welcome back to the channel, and we're back in with another YouTube. It's a nice sunny Monday morning, 7 AM now. We've walked the dogs and we're about to get into Mil 1. But I'm doing a 5-week cut, so anyone who's been following the channel would have seen that I was training for a marathon. We actually boxed that marathon off in around the 4-hour mark. But we had to deload before that, had to deload after. So it's been 2 weeks out of the gym, no training. Post-marathon, spent a bit of time with family, eating a lot of bad food, put on a little bit of timber, and now we're getting into a 5-week aggressive cut. Starting weight now is 93 kilos. The goal over the next 5 weeks is to drop to about 85 to 86. We've got 7 to 8 kilos to drop off. To do that in 5 weeks, we're gonna have to train hard, reduce food, add a lot of cardio, and I'm gonna document the journey on how I'm doing it. But let's get into Mil 1, which we're gonna start with an omelette. Mil 1 going in now, which I can't wait to eat because this is looking banging. But we got 4 eggs, 25 grams of low-fat cheese. We got, I don't know how many grams of tomatoes, let's say 50 grams of tomatoes, and then we got 5 grams of Lurpak butter. Macros for the meal, we got 440 calories, 36 grams of protein, only 6 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fats. Good quality protein, good quality fats. First thing in the morning, just before a big work block now, because we're gonna do about a 5-hour work block from 7:30 till 12:30. I don't want a big carb meal going in there, so we're gonna keep it light, good quality protein, keep you satiated, also for muscle protein synthesis, healthy fats as well for cognitive function. So we're gonna get this in, we're then gonna get stuck in to our first work block of check-ins, and then we're gonna get into a push session later on today. So we're in now, Mil 2, little pre-workout snack. And just a quick tip, for anyone looking to improve their productivity, get the hard things done early. I feel unbelievable now. We've just done 5 hours of deep work, got all the big important tasks done for the day, now going to the gym, all the lighter tasks to do, and it's 12 o'clock. So I'm feeling very, very good and excited for this gym session. But again, we just got another light meal. We've got 2 cinnamon bagel thins, 25 grams of jam, and a barbell protein shake. 500 calories just under, 33 grams of protein, 80 grams of carbs, 3.8 grams of fats. Now with this meal, you don't want a high fat meal because it's gonna slow digestion down. You're gonna want high carbs, which are easy to digest. So 2 bagel thins, 80 grams of carbs, digest quickly in time for the workout. We can utilize that for performance levels. Again, a protein source that is gonna digest quickly. But both meals have been light so far, so it's midday now. By the time I eat my next meal, it's gonna be about 3 o'clock, and I would have only had just over 900 calories. And again, a tip when you're in a fat loss phase is keep food as low as possible during the day. Save as much food for later on in the day, because in the evening time where you're a little bit less occupied, you're gonna then start thinking about falling off the plan, going through the cupboards, and that's when you're gonna start to snack. For me, by 6 PM, I still want 2 meals, maybe a meal at 6, a meal at like 8:30 to 9. Make them nice meals as well, and it's just a very good tip for ultimately keeping you on plan. But we're gonna get this down, and then we're gonna go and annihilate a big cardio session and a big push session. So we're about to get into push and cardio now. Some tips that I'm implementing for myself in this fat loss phase is, firstly, when you're doing cardio, you always want to try and do low intensity, steady state. So people watching previous videos would have seen I've been doing a lot of running. That was when my focus was more on health, fitness, marathon training. Now my focus is back on physique development, it's getting shredded. I'm gonna be going back in with low intensity, steady state cardio, so incline walks. So I'll put the incline on 15, speed on about 4.6 kilometers an hour. And today we're gonna do a 35-minute incline walk. As the weeks go on, we're gonna progress it 45 minutes. By the end of it, I'll probably be doing 60 minutes. So stay active with steps, get low intensity, steady state cardio in, and it's very good for managing fatigue, managing performance levels. And with your training, to be honest, not too much has to change. A lot of people think that they need to train completely different to get shredded. how you build muscle is how you retain muscle. So I'm still going to be lifting heavy weights. The only real change that I make within my training is exercise selection. Typically I'll do more machine-based movements, although today, to be honest, first day, I've still got loads of energy. I'm probably going to throw some dumbbells around. Later on in the prep, I will be using machine variations, and also I'll probably reduce volume down a little bit because recovery capacity on low food is not the same, so you're not going to be able to handle the most amount of volume. But we're going to get into a big session feeling good, feeling energized, ready to hit it hard. So I'll catch you guys in the gym. So meal 3, we're going to keep this short and sweet because it's a busy gym and I can't hear myself thinking. But we've got 150 grams of chicken with 25 grams of paprika, 350 grams of white potato, 560 calories, 56 grams of protein, 61 grams of carbs, 9 grams of fats. Post-workout, again, good quality protein source for muscle protein synthesis, carbs that are going to digest fairly quickly, like white potato. And again, a staple in my meals is it needs to be satiating. If I'm on low calories, I'm having foods that are not high in satiation, I'm gonna get hungry, I'm gonna fall off the plan. But we're gonna get into this and then I'll catch you again when I'm back at home and I can hear myself thinking. We are back in with meal 4. This is the biggest meal of the day and it's now 7 p.m. For me, I think I said earlier, I always like to save food for later on in the day. So I've got this meal and I've still got another meal to go after that. And ultimately now that stops me from sitting at home and just overindulging. I think Ronnie wants to get in some of this food as well. Can never enjoy a meal without him coming up here. But in the evenings, I'm not as busy with work. When I'm working, my mind's occupied. I don't need as much food. I'd rather save that for later on in the day. And even though I don't have a big pre-workout meal, like I've got 2 meals now, I'm not expending that energy. I'm still going to utilize that for performance levels. So this meal, we've got 200 grams of 5% fat beef. We've got 125 grams of white rice. We've got some teriyaki sauce to go over the beef. And we've got 100 grams of veggies. Macros for the meal is 640 calories. We've got 73 grams of protein, 56 grams of carbs, and 14 grams of fats. Again, a very nutritious meal. We've got micronutrients in the veg, also a lot of fiber, which is gonna keep your appetite in a good spot. Good quality carbs with the rice, and again, good quality source of protein with the beef. Sorry, I can't concentrate with Ronnie. So yeah, it hits the craving spot as well. Enjoy the taste, it's satiating. It's dense with good macros, good micros, all around a very good meal. So we're gonna get into this, and then on the final meal, I'm gonna let you guys know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I built these programs out to achieve a desired result, but I'm gonna give you the breakdown of exactly why I'm doing what with food, with training, with cardio. So I'm gonna enjoy this, and then I'll see you guys at the final meal. Last final meal of the day, and we've got 300 grams of 0% fat Greek yogurt, 20 grams of honey, we've got 100 grams of blueberries, 100 grams of strawberries. Macros for this meal, 322 calories, we've got 35 grams of protein, just under 43 grams of carbs, 0.3 grams of fats, pretty much no fats in it. So that brings us as a total of the day to 338 calories. We've got 225 grams of protein, 225 grams of carbs, and 58 grams of fats. Now, I weigh 93 kilos as of this morning. With your protein intake, you always want to aim between 2.2 and 3 grams of protein per kilo of scale weight in a fat loss phase. When you're bulking, you don't need as much protein, because if you're in a calorie surplus or even at maintenance, your body's in an anabolic state, your rate of muscle protein synthesis is going to be increased, hence you don't need as much. The more aggressive you go, the more protein ultimately you're going to need. So we've got very high protein. You need to make sure you don't neglect your fats. 20 to 30% of your calories needs to come from fats, just to make sure you're not neglecting your hormones like testosterone. And then the remainder of the calories are going to come from carbs. Again, you want to make sure you're not neglecting your carb intake. Glycogen, main source of energy, and that is what is going to fuel performance levels. So how did we get here? So for me, I need to drop 7 kilos over the next 5 weeks. So I need to be dropping over a kilo per week. Now, to drop a kilo per week, you need to roughly be in a 1,000 calorie deficit a day. So I need to be in about a 1,200 calorie deficit. At the minute, I'm having 2,338 calories. My maintenance calories is about 3,500. To work that out, you need to collect data. I know by this point my body very, very well. But what you can do is you can go online for a BMR calculator, fill out that form, put your activity level in there, and that is going to roughly tell you. But then you need to collect data, put a plan together, collect data, understand your body. And once you understand that, you can make adaptations. I've already collected data. I know that to maintain my physique, I need around 3,500 calories with the amount of movement and training that I'm doing. So what I've done now is I've built my cardio plan with my expenditure targets to allow me to burn that amount of calories a day. And I've manipulated my nutrition to put me in that calorie deficit. And that's going to enable me to drop over 1 kilo per week. Now, when going aggressive, you need to make sure you're retaining muscle. And that comes in from your protein intake, but also how you train and your ability to maintain performance levels. What you don't want to do is build a training program with an enormous amount of volume. Actually, you're going to have less volume because you can maintain performance levels then, and that is going to allow you to ultimately retain muscle mass. So I'll catch you guys this time next week with a progress update on how I'm getting on this in this aggressive fat loss phase, and then what I'm going to be doing from next week to keep progressing to the next level. So see you guys on the next episode.